Good morning and welcome. This is Pastor Lucy Painter with your daily insights. Over the last 7 days, we've been talking about launching into the deep, and we have looked at various areas of our lives and faith that we need to seek great depths in. We say that we need to seek the light of God that unbinds the noose of darkness. I loved that part. We said that we need to scratch below the surface, that we need to go further beyond the length of the boat into the deep, that we need to seek more than the average in our relationship with God. But someone might ask, Pastor Lucy, to what end? Why do we need to do all this? What then, after we achieve these great depths in all these areas, why are you pushing us? Why all this? And it's the beginning of the year. So in the remaining episode of this series, we are going to try and answer these questions. You see, our thirst for God, our hunger for His Word, our desire to have more of God is supposed to elicit, to evoke something from us. It is not just a desire for the sake of it. It is a desire that's intended to direct us towards something. Otherwise, it would be meaningless if you just desire something and you do nothing about it. And this is why the writer of Psalms 42 says that the eagerness, the intensity of his longing for God could only be compared to that of an animal panting for water. This is the subduing kind of thirst, the kind of thirst that can make you put everything else on hold just to have a moment of communion with God. You know, just like the way on a hot summer day, when you are thirsty, you will look for water until you find it. You don't just desperately say, oh, I'm thirsty, but I'm not going to do anything about it. The kind of thirst that can make you say, yes, I know I'm not yet to pay my mortgage. I know I'm sick. I don't feel like I have strength left to go on. But I just want a moment with God. This is a thirst more passionate than any hunger, more impatient than any discontent. And it is supposed to subdue us until nothing means more than being in the presence of the Lord. I don't know whether you have ever experienced such a thirst, my listener. And this is the depth we are seeking to get to. Until being in the storm doesn't scare us anymore. You know, like those Hebrew young men, they are looking at the fire is getting, heated 7 more times. But they have this passion for God and loyalty. And they dare tell the king, it doesn't matter. Even if you add the furnace 7 more times, we are so in love with God. We know He's able to deliver us. But even if He doesn't, our mind is made. You know, that kind of passion that even storms don't scare you anymore. Until we can take comfort in the Lord in the desert. Until communion with God becomes a natural instinct to our souls. This is what it is supposed to happen when we thirst for God. When we seek the very depth of communion with God. This is a kind of thirst that can keep us going when our legs have been knocked from under us, when all support has been withdrawn, when we have been separated from our support system of other believers, because it happens. Because this thirst acts as an anchor, tethering us to God, grounding us, holding our focus in place when all odds are against us. This kind of thirst is supposed to fuel our actions, to become the driving force of our worship and devotion to God. And it doesn't matter the circumstances we are in, it doesn't matter who is watching, the trail of thirst never lies. It takes us to what matters to us. And if that is God, even in the worst of circumstances, we will still choose God. When we thirst enough for Him, we will go hard after Him, because He is the ultimate prize, and our thirst will steady us until we get that prize. Shalom. This is Pastor Lucy Painter with your daily insights, and this is Launching Deeper, Day 8.